All right, everyone, we have another Trump win with regards to trade deals, actually. The United States and China have entered into an agreement, link in the description, archived, of course, with regards to rare earth minerals. Yes, indeed. China is going to export rare earth minerals to the United States, and the U.S. will, basically downgrade its countermeasures as a result of this. This was brokered partially by Lutnick, actually, which is interesting. And it is a positive sign that the United States and China are capable of actually appropriating deals between one another. Some liberal commentators, for example, had said for, well, months now, almost a year, that the United States and China could never have any form of reciprocity. Trump has gone mad. He's going to destroy the economy because we won't be able to trade with China anymore. This was never actually the goal. The entire goal was to utilize tariffs and things like that in order to back the Chinese down. That appears to be what they're doing now. The reason that they have a significant amount of rare earth materials. Um, Also through Korea, by the way. North Korea has a gigantic supply of rare earth minerals. And so they need to export them. I mean, they can't use all of them domestically. They have no choice but to export many of these goods. And so it was always clear that the United States would back China down. A lot of commentators, though, they thought that it would not happen. They thought, well, Mother China basically is going to rule the roost. The problem is, again, they're an exporter. The United States is a major importer of these goods. While I would like to grow a domestic market for these particular goods, it does make more sense, at least as a stopgap, to buy them in a foreign land, in a country that it'll cost half as much. It does make sense. For instance, lithium. We've got our own lithium, but it's going to take a lot more money to actually extract it. It's the same as with many other rare earth minerals. Lithium is probably number one on the list, but there are others, aluminum and so forth, things like that. The United States has an unlimited supply of many of these things, but as a stopgap measure, you're going to need to actually import. And so this is a huge win for Trump, actually, because again, a lot of his non-fans said, well, there will never be any sort of deal. China will hard wall him and so forth. Well, that didn't actually happen. China folded within 100 days, effectively. It's hilarious, actually, when you think about it. China folded because they need somewhere to actually sell the minerals. Well, I mean, if the European market is already saturated and nobody else really wants your minerals, it's basically the United States, the largest economy in the entire world. And so they're selling them to the Americans. Yes, how wonderful. Again, while I would like to domestically produce these things, and I think that we should move to a domestic production system, and that would be more populistic, in my opinion. As a stopgap measure, if China is willing to come to the table and say, okay, we're going to back off some of our tariffs and so forth, there'll be more free trade breaking out, and we'll sell you the minerals. Right. Well, I mean, you've accomplished something at the very least. It's better than what it was before now, isn't it? And so, yes, the United States and China have reproached with regards to trade, it appears. And again, Lutnick was involved. Trump himself was involved, talking to Jinping and so forth. And that's great because that means lower costs for Americans. That's something we could use right now. Just saying. Lower costs, also more efficiency. And the trade network can reach between countries. If you do have a trade network, one thing that happens is that both countries tend to be less likely to fight one another. This is a good idea. Um, I'm not a globalist. That's not what I'm saying. I'm simply saying that you do realize that if two countries are majorly involved with trade with one another, they're probably not going to draw swords. It's probably unlikely because, then they would be screwing themselves. So hopefully, again, peace breaks out between the United States and China. Trump may actually be able to accomplish this. I mean, look at what he did in North Korea. He's the first U.S. president to step foot in that country. By the way, that's a region filled with rare earth minerals, um, which is heavily tied to China anyway. It's basically a vassal state at this point. And he was the first U.S. president to actually set foot in it. So the hope is that peace will break out there as well. My hope is that he pivots to Korea. My hope is that he does what he did before and he goes into North Korea and uses China basically as a stepgap, so to speak. So you build up an economic alliance with China, then you go into North Korea and you say, look, enough is enough. You don't even need the DMZ anymore, and that you have peace breaking out there. John McCain would be spinning around in his grave so fast, hook a dynamo to him, and he'll be able to power the whole country. That's about all. Peace out.